Is Thunderbolts the first Marvel movie that's actually about trauma and shadow work? I've just watched it on the first day of release in London and it really surprised me. It's not just about a superhero action movie. It felt like a story about the transformational journey that we all go through when we're on the path of personal and spiritual discovery. It reminded me so much of the shadow work integration that I learned during my master's degree in Transpersonal Psychology and through the teachers like Morley and Wilber. Hi, my name is Tony, here to talk about everything beyond the everyday life ordinary psychology stuff to help us think differently about life, meaning, and what's going on beneath the surface. So in this video, I want to show you how Thunderbolts teaches us to begin healing the shadow parts of ourselves that we usually fight, fear, or deny. A warning, there will be spoilers ahead.
Is Marvel's Thunderbolts really about shadow work?
So in the movie, the character that goes through the most powerful transformation is this man called Bob. At the start, he's pretty much a nobody. Quiet, fragile, and kind of invisible. And then we find out that Bob's childhood was shaped by trauma. Like abuse from his parents, the kind of stuff that make us feel unsafe all the time. So, like most of us, he did what he had to do. He silenced himself and he shoved and pushed everything down. According to the famous psychologist Carl Jung, this is where the shadow begins. The shadow isn't some evil parts of us. It's just the parts that we learn to hide, reject, or push down. Our anger, our emotions, our fears, and even our potentials. Anything that we're told that was too much or not enough. And for most of us, that starts in childhood. But when we don't feel safe to express those parts of ourselves, they don't disappear. They can turn to depression, anxiety, or even addictions. So that's why Bob turned to drugs. To run away from something inside him that feels unbearable. And honestly, I think most of us can relate. It might not be drugs, but it might be overworking, endless scrolling, staying distracted. Just anything to avoid sitting with what's really there. And there was this moment when Bob sacrificed himself for his friends and was shot many times by the guards. In transpersonal psychology, they call this moment a spiritual emergency. It's when a crisis cracks you open so deeply, it shakes your whole identity, and something bigger starts to come through. That's exactly what happened to Bob. After his near-death experience, he wakes up with insane power and becomes the Sentry, a glowing god-like hero. And this is where the golden shadow comes in. Carl Jung said, we don't just bury the parts of ourselves that we don't like. We also hide our brilliance, our confidence, leadership, and creativity. Everything we secretly admire in others but don't think we have. So Bob becoming the Sentry is like his golden shadow bursting out. But even then, he doesn't know what to do with his power. And then, it happens. All the pain that Bob's been trying to run away from finally bursts out, and he becomes the void. Carl Jung talked about this. He said, the more we try to repress our dark shadows, the more it builds in the background. Eventually, it comes up to the surface and destroys everything around us. Usually at the worst time and in the worst way. At this point, Bob's friends try to save the world by saving Bob from his shadow selves, the void. But then his friends were overcome by the void. And Bob thought the only way to save his friends is by fighting the void with everything he's got. But the more he fights and punches the void, the more he was consumed by the darkness and becomes the void himself. That's the thing with dark shadows and the things we hate the most. When we fight it, we feed it and we lose control. We become the thing we were afraid of and hate. But then Bob's friend, Yelena, and the others ran towards him one by one. They hugged him and told him to stop fighting with his dark shadow. They told him, you are not alone. no matter what the void tells him. And only when Bob starts to feel the love and care from his friends, that's when the void starts to weaken. Not because it was beaten, but it was because it was met with compassion and love. And Carl Jung said, this is what a real shadow integration looks like. It's not about defeating the shadow with force. It's about integrating it through love and embrace. He said, we don't become whole by being perfect. We become whole by embracing what we rejected, especially with love. So how do we start integrating our golden and dark shadows? There's a simple but powerful meditation I learned from my teacher, Charlie Morley. First, find a calm and quiet spot. Sit down and relax your body. And gently close your eyes. Now imagine someone you deeply admire sitting on your left. This could be anyone, a real or fictional person, a cartoon character, or a superhero, even someone who's passed away. Just pick someone who radiates the qualities you look up to the most: strength, compassion, creativity, confidence. Feel those energy coming off them. Let yourself soak it in. Then, on your right side, visualize someone who triggers you. Someone you hate, fear, or feel disgusted. Again, this could be a real person or a character from a movie or a story. Maybe it's anger, control, selfishness, or chaos. Just sit with their presence. Don't push it away. Just notice. Now, in your mind's eyes, imagine them both standing up and walk towards each other. As they come closer, let them merge into a single glowing white light. And now, imagine that light coming towards you. As you move towards it, let it enter into your body and let it fill you from head to toe. Take a moment here and notice how it feels. And now, look to your left and look to your right. There's no one there anymore because they're now within you. So, before I watched Thunderbolts, I honestly thought that Marvel's movies were just about superheroes fighting bad guys and saving the world. But watching Thunderbolts has made me think differently. It made me realize that maybe the villains from the Marvel's movies are not separate characters from the heroes at all. Maybe they are just part of the hero that have been hidden, denied, or pushed away. They're shadows. So maybe the real way to save the world is not to fight or destroy our enemies. Maybe it's to show them love and embrace them with compassion. Because by doing that, maybe we can heal the parts of ourselves we hated the most. The parts just needed the most love. So let me know in the comment section below if you enjoyed watching the Thunderbolts movie and what you think the movie is really about. And who are your golden shadow heroes and who are your darker shadow supervillains? And if you enjoy watching this video, please click the like button and subscribe. It will really help me to make more videos like this. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.